warm welcome to this special edition of Big Picture coming to you from Madras University. Tamil Nadu is just a few weeks away from the poll and the battle lines are drawn between AIADMK and DMK and also the People's Welfare Front, that is PWF, this time saying that it stands a fighting chance. What are the real prospects of these parties? What are the real issues? And are the people of Tamil Nadu really looking for a change amidst this political saga of betrayals, breakups and alliances? Well, joining me now is a scintillating panel of guests. To my extreme left is Dr. Narayan and Laxman. He is the deputy editor of The Hindu. Welcome. Next to me is our Kannan. He is a spokesperson from the DMK. There is Dr. Bernard D. Sami. He is the political analyst from Loyola College. And D. Lenin. He is a CPIM leader. Of course, he has to answer many questions from as far as PWF is concerned. Welcome all of you on this special show. I would like to ask you, Dr. Bernard, at the very outset, many people say that it's a watershed election. Some call it bizarre. Some really call it an election which people have never seen. How would you really encapsulate the sense of this election in Tamil Nadu?
This election is really significant because since 1967, Tamil Nadu has been ruled either by DMK or by ADMK.
Okay.
And for the first time, we have a third front now. And the third front parties are smaller parties, and only with their support, the DMK and ADMK, they formed governments earlier.
Okay.
Now the smaller parties which supported the two parties which were in power closer to half a century, they are out. The smaller parties are out and they have formed their own. There is a new identity for them in the form of a PWF.
Right.
So this is going to be a five-cornered contest this time. There are smaller parties who have fielded candidates in all the 334 constituencies.
Right.
And another significant factor is none of the PWF constituents, the parties, they formed a government, earlier formed a government or never formed a government.
So basically they are political novices. I'll come to you. Lenin is already smiling. Dr. Narayan, Laxman, I would like to understand from you, basically the duopoly of the two Dravidian majors, that has been breached this time by PWF. But looking at the prospects, as what Dr. Bernard is saying, that they are political novices, first time entrants, do you think that they will be able to dent the vote bank of the two Dravidian majors? Are the people really looking for some kind of a change? Do they see PWF as a political alternative, the new alternative?
Well, in a sense, they have breached and something new is happening, but in a sense, we don't know yet as well, because this party has come together. It has a lot of prospects, rather this alliance of parties, the PWF. But at the same time, the two stalwarts, the giant parties, they are a force to reckon with in Tamil Nadu politics, as Dr. Sami pointed, since 1967. And the reason they have got this very deeply entrenched position within the state and within Tamil culture even is because their roots are extremely deep, you know. So it began with the Dravidian revolution, the mobilization of the Dravidian party, Dravidian movement. And while that has changed shape over the years, there is still a very strong echo across the states. Now the real question which determines how much they remain in power and retain that preeminent position is to what extent can they deliver on the policy front. And there obviously things have gotten very much sort of mixed up over the years as well. Earlier you used to see a situation where one of them, DMK for example, used to cater primarily to the needs of certain groups and the ADMK to certain other groups. And that very basic relationship has also changed.
Also, Kannan, I would like to bring in you here. People of Tamil Nadu by and large have seen DMK and AIDMK as two sides of the same coin. Also, your origins have been the same. Of course, you have drifted away. But by and large, the essence, the chemistry, the way in which you deal with the electorate, by and large has been seen the same. This time, what is the kind of change which you're really offering to the people and saying that, look, we are a party which is very different from AIDMK?
We've always been a party very different from the AIDMK. We contend that we are the truly, we are a truly Tamil nationalist party.
Okay.
We will not accept that the All India...
That is what AIDMK also says.
It could say many things.
Okay.
It could say many things. We don't have to spend time on this. But I would take exception to the notion that we are the same faces of a coin. We are we are a party that had begun with a social notion. Social justice has been our plank, and even today we have gone before the people with that plank in mind. We are for a developmental agenda, but with a strong social justice content.
If I could ask you 2 points on why the people of Tamil Nadu would vote for DMK at the moment.
Because we are tried and tested,
Okay.
they know what they would get from us. We bring experience, we bring a mix of experience and youth. We have done what we have said before, and we have said and we now say what we will be able to do.
Okay,
Our manifesto speaks for itself.
Okay, let me bring in Lenin here. In what terms are you really offering that hope of change to the people of Tamil Nadu? Because people are saying that this is a front which is opportunistic, its ideology is not very clear. All these kind of allegations are coming as far as the prospects of PWF are concerned.
Actually, the PWF, People Welfare Fund, is formed on the necessity, political necessity, and the people, the mind and voice of the people.
Okay.
The problem is, I could endorse the full view of Mr. Swami. The problem is, in 48 years, they are in power. They are ideologically bankrupt. Principally, they are bankrupt.
But when you say that the Dravidian majors have been ideologically bankrupt, what about your ideology?
Our ideology is for the Tamil people, for the a government without corruption, a government for
Is it
people,
Ambedkarite?
a government,
Is it
for
Leninist?
empowerment
What
of
is the
social
ideology your
sectors,
front is following?
especially the weaker section.
What is the ideology which your front is following?
Our ideology is very simple. First of all, these Tamil people should be far from the corruptive elements.
Okay.
The corruptive elements almost diminish all the
Answer,
prospects
Kannan, on
of
this.
politics.
The corruption plank. Do
all
you think
the
corruption is a big
one
issue?
minute,
People
one minute.
are
All
really
the,
looking
all
for
the,
that?
I think corruption is a big issue. I'm sure all of us will agree that corruption
But what about
is
this? But what about the taint of 2G scam? Has DMK really?
We have
come
not
out?
shied
We are
away.
also in a
We have
peril.
not shied away from these. The matter is before the courts of law,
Okay.
and I'm sure we will all wait for the outcome. We
But
are not shying away.
how convincing your party would be when you have
Because-
held hands of parties like Congress and you're going down to the people begging for votes? Would the people really get convinced of what you're saying?
I'm sure that the crowds that greet our leaders,
Okay.
the fact that here is a 93-year-old leader who has been the chief minister for 5 times, who's the tallest leader in India today, who at this age is going over to the people seeking their mandate to throw away this government that has been defined as the most corrupt government in India by the leader of the ruling party which rules India
But as
today.
far as the leader is concerned, Vijaykant is your leader. But people are saying all sorts of things about him. He makes cantankerous statements. He would not know what he has spoken in the rally.
No,
when
no,
he
no.
when he interacts with the journalists, he says something else.
No. These are all.
He sounds very non-cohesive.
No. These are all cooked up stories. Actually, he is active in politics. Sometimes it may be bust. All the leaders are having this history. I can point out, if you want anybody, the chief minister candidates, I can tell all these factors. But the problem is here, the experience is the main 2 political parties' experience is corruption. Corruption is everywhere.
So
At
your
every
USP is that
nook and
PWF
corner.
is a clean front.
Yeah,
Is that your USP?
We stand for this one. That's why the main parties DMK and as well as AIDMK now in the political plank they are not spoke about this corruption.
I really would
They are
have to
bypass
take-
and
Okay,
they
let-
bypass
let-
that issue.
let
That's
Kannan-
why I'm
Mr.
telling you.
Let Kannan come in on this.
Mr. Lenin oversimplifies the whole thing. His
No.
star,
He's a
Mr.
main-
let him
Mr.
speak, let him
Vijaykant, Mr. Vijaykant was an ally of the ruling party in Tamil Nadu
Kannan,
in the last
people
election.
Everybody
would
is,
say
but
it's
we
a
are not
case
a
of-
coalition partner.
it's a case
We are
of-
not a coalition. Before
It's a
that,
case
we are
of
also
not
part of
calling the
DMK
kettle
front.
black. You were also, is it not true that your party DMK was trying to woo Vijaykant?
Absolutely.
Vijaykant's party?
Waiting at the lowest minute.
because
Waiting. That
absolutely.
milk
And
is
is it not
waiting for the
equally
fruit.
and is it not equally true that Mr. Vijaykant was talking to everyone that he could
Yes,
talk to.
absolutely.
So what are we talking about? We're talking about this issue. This is, as Dr. Sami said, this is a defining moment. I would actually take exception to what he said earlier. There was a third front in 2014 here.
Right.
Tamil Nadu is not ready for a third front yet.
They
In
are
my
not ready.
humble-
Tamil
you will
Nadu
have
is
to
getting
concede to
ready.
the
Humble
fact,
opinion.
Lenin,
The
you
soul
will have
of
to
the
concede
people
to the
find
fact.
out.
of the people
Lenin,
in
you will
charge.
have to concede to the fact that your party looks like a, you know, in Hindi what you call a dhol mol party, which doesn't have a stand. You could go with any alliance, you could, so will it, won't you admit to the fact
All
that
this
yours
bad
is an
history is
opportunistic?
erased today. Erased
yours
today.
is an opportunistic
That's why
alliance.
we take this political bold
We,
step.
the
bold
DMK
step.
Okay, I'm
promises
sure-
stability.
Let me just tell the audience at this juncture that we did try and invite people from the AIDMK, but consistently 2-3 MLAs who were contesting, they said that they are contacting the party headquarters and there will be people coming from the AIDMK. But finally what I got to know from them over the phone was that they are too busy campaigning and panel discussions like these do not matter to them. So let me inform the audience about this bit, and that is the reason why we don't have any AIDMK contestant. But I would like to bring in you here, Dr. Bernard. Many people here are saying, apart from these political fights, which will, I'm sure, will go on till the time the polling doesn't rest. But Dr. Bernard, many people are also saying that there is a complete lack of issues in this election. Will you really say that it's an issue-less election? Because earlier there were a lot of issues, but here people are not talking about issues.
You're right. This time Tamil Nadu election is not fought on any major issues.
Right.
At one level, Tamil Nadu has been one of the highly urbanized states, and Tamil Nadu population is touching the highest. The 2011 census said 72 million, 75 million. After that, it is going to have a negative growth and it is going to decline. So this demographic shift and other things are not taken into consideration by the political parties while articulating, in their manifesto, the programs and other things that they will be providing to the people and to the different age
Right.
groups. So in that way, this election is not a issue strong election, but on the other hand, the diversion has more on.
Narayan, I would like to hear from you. Basically, when it's an issueless election, people say that the pace of the campaign also slows down. Like what we have seen, Amma Jayalalitha has so far conducted about 8 rallies, and they are not like a full throttle campaign which we have seen in the earlier years. What is the reason, the main reason for the slowing down of the campaign?
I think again this goes back to what we were saying earlier, that there is a sort of a mixing up of policy priorities.
Okay.
And that has been happening over many years. So initially, for example, Tamil Nadu was hailed across India as the pioneer for the noon meal scheme, which was transformative because it provided nutrition outcomes, caste harmony arose out of that, and it was even the World Bank in the US was hailing this.
Now basically it's known as the land of the handouts and the freebies.
Exactly. That has degenerated into a battle of freebies. It's gone well beyond nutrition. It's become about, okay, even a laptop, even conducting mass weddings, distributing bicycles, everything
that is
has
a
a
freebie,
place. But there must be some sense of a purpose behind these policies, and that is what has got lost. And in fact, in the Hindu, we've carried a number of pieces on this. There's a very close convergence of all policies. You're seeing the same policies, same freebies promised by the DMK as the ADMK.
Kannan come in on this. Your party manifesto does talk about a lot of things which have straight away been lifted from PMK's manifesto, as Dr. Ambumani Ramadas says. But in terms of policies, what are you really offering to the people?
We are offering a
Why
number of
Why is
things.
your party not talking about wages, unemployment?
We are.
The very issues
We are.
which are
We
connected
have-
with the labor.
We have spoken about the fact that 86 lakh people are unemployed in the state. And we have come out with a program in our manifesto, which has, the ADMK, by the way, is yet to come up with its manifesto. All right? If Dr. Ramadas could wait and then pronounce judgment on whom they are copying. There are some similarities between our manifesto and his, like the Ministry for Irrigation and a separate budget for
Right.
agriculture, etc. But coming back to your unemployment, etc., we're very conscious that 86 lakh people are unemployed. If we are voted to power, we will immediately fill the 3 lakh vacancies in government services. All right? We will do skill development
does that
to
mean that
25
you are-
lakh people.
is your party then ready to shun the freebie culture?
Of course we have.
Which
You
your
just
party
have to-
only started. Which your party only started in 2006.
The television.
And it was emulated by Jayalalitha.
Television. Neelu. Televisions have done well. They have today made these people more aware of us.
But the inside story says something else.
Yes, that cable
About how
network
Sen
was
Net-
done by
Sun
their
Network-
family.
Right.
That's why they give that freebies.
I'm going to come back to the family
I
war.
would have
It was
to.
a
Yes,
It
let's
was
let
a
him
people
comment on this.
He's the
acquisition.
last person who should be talking about families, because every time Mr. Vijaykant shows up, you see his wife and his brother-in-law next to him. So I don't think we should be talking about this. Let's talk about developmental issues.
Right.
And
Let me bring in Lenin on this.
Every district
PWF, what does it have to offer to the people apart from the freebie culture? What is that new thing which you are offering to the people?
basically for the land question for the rural areas. Both the parties are always betrayed the people wishes. They are already promised by DMK manifesto, 2 acre per head, but it is not given by them. This government also promised, but it is not fulfilled.
thanks, sir.
So in the rural area, this is the problem.
Dr. Bernard, what I want to ask from you is that the very fact that the rural population has been a passive recipient of these welfare schemes, of these freebies, does that mean that, of course, they are politically ignorant, but if they are passive recipients, they would just not apply their brains and they will just vote for Amma? Does that not mean
Wrong.
No, let him comment on that.
Yeah, at this point of time, I must place it before this August panel that freebies have consistently depoliticized Tamil people. Freebies take away people from the political sphere. And that is the reason why exactly you asked, there are no strong political issues this time.
Right.
The absence of strong political issues, it is due to this. If freebies, people are taken by freebies, then the real issues are not articulated. One of the real issues that should have been taken by the two political parties, while looking at including the PWF, there is no mention about that, is on migration. The latest study on migration that is conducted very clearly says Kerala has gone for 6 rounds of migration survey. They have the exact number of how many are going and how much remittances are coming. Tamil Nadu has this number of 2.2 million immigrants. Are they protected? And 10 lakh
Why are the political
interstate
parties
migrants.
not talking? Dr. Narayan, why the political party is not talking about such serious issues?
The remittances are 61 crores over to
You
him.
made an
Yeah.
important point. One second.
Because
Yeah.
of the employment
Laxman,
opportunity.
if you
They
could
are
comment on
migrated to
this.
the town, cities.
I think that basically this freebie culture has gotten so deep that when it comes to election time, there are firstly very few questions being asked, and I think we as media are also partly to blame. Let's not forget the media. So not only parties and people, we are playing a role in this.
What do you think is the main reason why media is not speaking?
Because again, there are lots of, some media, not to name names, have links with parties. Other media...
I'm not talking about Jaya TV and Sun TV.
Okay, but I slightly disagree with what was said earlier, that it's completely blunting the politics of Tamil Nadu or depoliticizing. It is to a large extent, but I do think Tamil people have time and again surprised not only the political parties, but all the pollsters and everyone, and even all these big swings that you've seen from one party to the other has shocked people.
Another thing which surprises
Can
me,
I just
Kannan,
finish?
if you
Can I just
answer
finish
on
my
this.
point? So I think that in the people's minds there is an awareness of the issues. When there's a big flood in Chennai and no one is attending and no one is showing up to address the needs of the poorest, that makes an impression. You can distribute sacks of money, but that's not going to go away.
Amma brands, if you talk about Amma salts, Amma cements, Amma
stickers.
canteens, Amma pharmacies, Amma theatres now. Is DMK making this into a big issue? How state has become a total enterprise and giving a competition to the private players? Is this such a big issue?
No, we are promising one thing that is not here. There is absolutely no governance. We have not seen governance for the last 5 years. There's been no real-time investment in Tamil Nadu. This is not an investor-friendly state anymore.
Right, absolutely.
Growth has dropped from, in 2014, it is 6%. In 2011, it was 13.1%. All right? I could reel off statistics to show where we are. But Tamil Nadu has, despite the lack of governance, despite the indifference, despite the ivory tower arrogance that is being displayed, has trudged along because the fundamentals are very strong. They've been laid very strongly in the 50s, 60s, 70s and so on. And therefore, what we are offering is a government that is functioning, that is accessible, and that will be effective.
Is accessibility such a big issue? Because people here in Tamil Nadu have got used to Amma's inaccessibility. Over the years, they have voted for Amma. Inaccessibility has never been an issue.
I'm not so sure.
You
that.
said something.
I'm not
This
so
is
sure.
the fact in Tamil Nadu.
No. I
In a
obviously, I
democracy,
understand the
everybody is
reasons because Stalin has
answerable
come
to
out
the
of that.
people.
Yes.
Stalin
Here
has
nobody
come
is
out of
ready
his
to
Absolutely.
answer to the people.
Absolutely. This Namakaname program
Right.
has been a huge hit. We don't know how it will translate on the election day, but I think there is a
But people
general
do
agreement.
talk about the fact
Absolutely,
that
here is a man.
DMK
Great
has
failure.
not allowed its district leadership to come up. People are not sure whether they will get tickets. The cadres are going up against the leaders.
we
Is
have-
it not true?
We
In
have
the history of
promised.
DMK, 3 candidates were not to, then they don't want to contest in the election.
Maybe, but
This is all going on.
So which means that
all this
something is wrong with
No,
it with
no,
the party
it-
internally.
No, not at all.
The
In
history of
fact-
DMK,
in
it is the
fact,
first time.
It could be so. I would like to interpret it positively.
Okay.
It shows our inner party democracy. All right. And as far as the accessibility goes, Mr. Stalin's presence there on the streets and with the people is welcomed by everyone.
Stalin has changed his attire from veshtis. He has come down to trousers. So obviously, it's very clear he's luring the voters. But
it's corporatism.
But why? Why do the opinion polls, Kannan, why do the opinion polls do talk about the
DMK
fact
is believing
that the
in the
charisma of
tradition,
DMK
Tamil
has
tradition.
evaporated now?
I think Mr. Narayan Laxman had a response. Don't go by opinion polls as yet. It's too
So you're
early.
saying that it's too early.
It's too early.
Okay.
Please wait.
Numbers always go wrong, so I would take
Whenever
a point.
it
We have to be hopeful.
Naturally
No,
telling
not at
these
all.
things.
Not at all. Not at all.
It is fair with us.
And
But what the larger question at the moment is, Dr. Bernard, is there a real anti-incumbency against Amma?
History shows in the last 48 years it is anti-incumbency, except in the year 87 to 97, 77 to 87, when MGR was ruling for 10 years. After that, it was ADMK and DMK. But this time, the surprise may be because of the PWF and 5-cornered contest, the parties which are contesting, and in my opinion, it looks like, at least I see it this way, a hung assembly.
Oh,
Yeah, the two major parties may be winning with thin
so
majority.
hung assembly, is Vijaykant going to be the
We are
king or the
confident. We are
kingmaker?
We should
Will
come
you prove to be the
to the
kingmaker?
power.
Oh. Narayan, how do you look at it?
I agree. I think it's
Do
going
you
to be
have a
close.
hunch that it's going to be a hung assembly this time?
I think a hung assembly or the ADMK may get very close to the majority point where with one ally even they may
Because
succeed.
opinion polls do
No.
point out the
Again-
fact
again-
that Amma will come back to
really-
power.
No, but I
we
think-
do not
I-
know
can I
the
just-
majority.
can I just
Scenario
finish?
is,
I think the
almost
important question is what does it mean for
Washed
the
out by
democratic
the-
politics in Tamil Nadu if that happens? We're already raising serious questions about governance and policies based on freebies. What kind of path will we have ahead if that happens?
So
That is
are
the question.
is this the last battle of the so-called stalwarts of Tamil Nadu, like Karunanidhi, Stalin,
Yeah.
Amma? Is this the last leg of the battle of the stalwarts?
Yeah.
Lenin?
Yes, because the new things are emerging.
Mm-hmm.
The 1.5 crore people, new voters, we are aspiring their.
Because people
Their-
still are
their
criticizing
ideas.
the way the politicians are.
We are expecting they should
practicing
vote
their
for them. They
politics.
are fed up with the DMK
Amma
and
flies down from the
ADMK.
choppers.
During
Amma
the
flies
flood,
down from her
Chennai
chopper.
flood,
She
all
doesn't
these
mingle with the people.
Amma's stature is washed out.
Kalainer is on his wheelchair, but he will not mingle with the
Yeah.
people. So there is a certain.
that is not true. That is entirely incorrect.
So are the visuals which are played out on the channels, they are
no,
wrong?
he is a nonagenarian leader.
Mm-hmm.
He can't even move away from his wheelchair. So let's be a little.
He is a nonagenarian.
That's fine.
That's
Amma
good
is
for
People,
68.
people will decide.
Stalin is
people
just
will
about
decide.
4 or 5 years.
And as
Stalin
far
and
as his,
Vijaykant also.
Neelu,
He's
as
not
far
very
as his
young.
one and a half,
You are accusing
is,
me.
is one and
You
a
are
half
accusing
new
PWF.
voters. There are one and a half
Bernard,
new voters.
Is age really an issue with the people of Tamil Nadu? Like what he said, Karunanidhi is nonagenarian, Amma is almost 67, 68. For 5 years younger is Stalin and
Give
Vijaykant.
retirement for them.
Yeah.
give new hands.
Are the
to
people
will
of
decide.
Tamil Nadu
People
looking
will
at them as
decide.
young leaders?
Mr. Jyoti Basu
60s
was
is the
in his
new
80s.
40s.
Himself.
No, let me ask,
want
Dr.
to
Bernard.
retire.
Dr. Bernard
But
is
your
60s, the new
Kalyan
40s of Tamil
stalwart
Nadu.
leader doesn't give
Lenin,
power to
Lenin,
his son
Lenin,
also.
just let Dr. Bernard come in.
It is 60
Is
plus
60 the
for-
new 40s for
60
Tamil Nadu?
plus for leadership in Tamil Nadu. But I think this is also shows one of the basic lacunae of the Tamil Nadu politics, that the Tamil people are yet to identify leaders who are young,
Okay.
who are dynamic, who will take
So
Tamil Nadu to
the fault lies with the party heads. They've not nurtured the young leadership.
all parties.
Your party is still
The
into the
party-
family
the
succession
so-called
war.
parties are
Not at
becoming
all, not at
power
all.
center.
I'll
That's
tell you,
why
I'll
the
tell you, this
youngsters
is-
are not allowed to
Neelu.
take the
Neelu, if you look at
places.
the Tamil Nadu's Dravidian party history, we have thrown, Tamil Nadu is very unique in many respects. We throw up very popular leaders. These are leaders who are icons, all right?
But
So
can
when
you
when
name
these
a popular leader after Karunanidhi
absolutely,
and
they
Stalin?
will. This was exactly the question that was asked
This
when
is
they
a lie.
passed
After
away.
Vijaykant,
Our
after
And there
leaders,
emerged a
Vijaykant,
lot
who's
of
your leader?
lot of leaders.
After Vijaykant, who's your leader?
Yeah, everybody is in our friend. All are good.
But you still have to
leaders.
prove yourself.
Yeah.
Narayan, I would like to bring in you here on another very crucial issue before we close the show. And that is the caste factor, which is playing a major role this election. 80 years before Periyar had spoken about a casteless society, we have seen that no matter how much the Dravidian parties speak about the social justice, but they have not done justice to these particular groups which have sprung up now. And BJP has become one of the very big cementing factors for these parties. Would you not agree with this?
No, absolutely. I mean, you can have a pretty short debate on the BJP's effects in Tamil Nadu because there's not
I
much
know,
to
there
it.
is
But that
insignificant
apart,
there.
no, I take
Yeah.
a broader point. I take a broader point, which is that
Caste engineering.
Right.
caste continues to play a big, sort of have a big impact.
Okay.
But even there, similar to this policy shift you've seen, you have seen castes also getting mixed up. So, for
Okay.
example, when the
You will have
Dravidian
Chevers
movement,
in AIDMK camp, then you will have
exactly,
Vyas
when the
in every
Dravidian
camp.
movement kicked
Yeah.
off,
So, Dr. Bernard,
But
do you see this
still
as a
this year,
I have to close the show.
83.
Do you see this as a passing phenomenon? The caste factor, do you see this as a passing phenomenon?
Tamil Nadu caste factor has more or less, in my opinion, ended because you have the caste groups in every party.
Okay,
Every caste being represented in every party.
okay,
In that way, you cannot call any one particular party as a caste-based party.
okay.
People would say PMK is a even they have this time they are standing alone and they are trying to get the votes from everyone. So that way, caste is a factor which is cross-cutting for the political parties, and no party can address a particular
But
caste
how
to vote.
significant is the caste factor will be proven when the results come
I
out.
think
Of course,
it's still an instrument of mobilization.
Yes.
But like he says, it has gotten very, very mixed up. It's
Yeah.
no longer one party, one caste.
and yes, let me tell the audience that the campaign is now picking up. It's going at its peak, and just a few weeks left for the polling to happen. So a lot can happen from now and then. We'll have to wait and watch what happens on 19th May. I'll have to thank all my guests. Thank you, Narayan, Laxman, Dr. Bernard, Lenin and Kannan for answering all the tough questions as well. And yes, let me remind the audience, AIDMK has not been on this platform of the panel discussion. We did try and invite them, but they said that campaigning for them is more important than participating in the panel discussion. Thank you, all of you, for coming here on The Big Picture.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.